everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is my channel Secret Life of a Seamstress, where I like to talk about sewing and making clothes as well as other crafts as well. I hope you're all doing really well today. Today's video is going to be a review of the 5 new patterns I said I was going to sew for spring and summertime this year. So if you've followed me for a while, you know that I do tend to make these seasonal videos where I have a look at my wardrobe, try and see where any gaps might be, as well as things like new things that I might want to try in my sewing journey, like new techniques and new garments that I've perhaps not sewn before. And I like to make myself a little list of 5 new patterns that I'd like to add to my wardrobe or my pattern library or whatever for that upcoming season. So yeah, I really do enjoy making these videos. It does give me some focus. It lets me look at my wardrobe, see what I think might be missing and what I can make. And I have found actually that some of the patterns that I've chosen in the videos that I've made have gone on to be some of my most favourite and most reused patterns. For example, the Logan's jacket. We all know how that went. I've made so many different versions of that now, and also in last year's autumn winter video I came across the South Bank sweater dress, which I love and have made loads of those as well. So I think just sitting down and sort of getting focused and really thinking about what I want for the next season in my wardrobe, it just works really well for me, and yeah, I love doing these videos. So at the beginning of springtime this year, I did exactly that. I sat down and had a little think about 5 new patterns that I thought I might like to sew for spring and summertime this year. And they were sort of new things really, I guess, new garments, things that I thought would pair well in my wardrobe with other things and things that I knew I would love to wear. There were a couple of new techniques in there this time, but I didn't push myself that much this year, I have to say. So I will link the video that I'm talking about down below. So if you haven't seen that, then if you want to, you can pop over and just have a look at the patterns that I'd selected. It will obviously be a little bit out of date now, but yeah, if you'd like to, then I will link that down below. So on my list for spring and summertime this year, 2023, I had a new jacket, a new pair of summer pajamas, a new dress, a new blouse, and a new pair of shorts. So for the first time ever, I think, since I've been making these 5 videos or 5 pattern videos, I have actually finished the whole of the 5 patterns that I've chosen. I did switch one of the patterns around that I was planning to sew, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, I did actually get all 5 sewn, so I'm really pleased with myself. So I thought this year I would actually do a proper video where I sat down and just reviewed all of the patterns that I sewed, talk about what I thought about them, talk about how I think they're going to fit into my wardrobe, and also a few plans of how I think they might take me into the next season as well. So I really hope you'll enjoy today's video. So I think it's fair to say that although I did get all 5 of my new patterns finished, it did take me quite a while. I got very distracted this summer by all of the new patterns that were coming out, things that I'd seen on the high street that I wanted to try and copy. Obviously, making these videos, I do need to try and make them quite early, so I tend to do them before sometimes what is coming out on the high street comes out, and it does leave me a little bit sort of behind with what's coming out. So I then tend to see things on the high street and see new patterns and things and get a little bit distracted, let's say. But anyway, I did get all 5 done. So I'm going to go through these in no particular order. One of the things I'm going to be talking about, as you may notice, is actually what I'm wearing today, but I'm not going to talk about that first. I'm actually going to leave that one till last. Some of these makes I have briefly shared with you in other makes videos, but I am going to be going into a little bit more detail talking about them today. So yeah, I think I will start with a new make actually. So this is something that's really quite new or hot off of the sewing machine that I haven't shared with you yet. And it is my pair of shorts. So I did go off on a little bit of a tangent, or I did give myself a little bit of poetic license here, whatever you want to call it. But I did end up swapping the pair of shorts pattern that I was going to use. So originally in my video, I did say I wanted to sew up the Goji shorts by Deer and Doe, and I'll pop an image of that pattern in here. So what I was looking for really was just a really simple pair of drawstring waist shorts. I was going to make these and actually take these on holiday with me when we went to Spain in the summer. But unfortunately, I didn't actually get around to making these shorts before we went away. But I didn't want that to stop me making them. I really wanted to find a shorts pattern that I loved, that I could have in my pattern wardrobe and that I knew would work really well for hot weather time and going away on holiday. But not only that, for loungewear and things like that as well. So I did change the pattern choice in the end. During the summer, I put out another video talking all about co-ord sets. And in that video, I came across a lovely free pattern by Peppermint magazine called the Spring Shorts. Now, I know that this has been a super popular pattern. I know so many people have made these up over on Instagram, and they are just a really popular Peppermint magazine pattern. And the good thing about them is that they are actually free. So even though we are coming into autumn, last weekend I downloaded the PDF pattern. So with Peppermint magazine, they have loads of free patterns on their website. I'm sure you've seen them before. I'm probably telling you what you already know, but there are loads of free patterns on their website. Some of them are free. Some of them I think now you maybe do need to pay a very small amount, say like $5 or something. And some of their patterns you can give a donation. So you can donate like $1 or $2, or you can actually just download it for free. And that is the case with the spring shorts. So you can download them for free, or you can give a donation if you'd rather. So yeah, in my mind, I really wanted these to be a super comfy, casual pair of linen shorts. I've seen loads of these type of shorts around on the high street, and I really wanted to make a pair of my own. So I finally got mine done last weekend, and here they are. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how these turned out. They were really quick and easy sew. The pattern is very simple and quick and easy to put together. The instructions are great. The only thing I would say about the pattern actually is that there aren't any finished garment measurements in the instructions or the size guide. So you do have to go off of your body measurements. But because obviously the waist is elasticated, there is sort of a little bit of room for movement there. But I was a little bit worried that these were going to turn out super oversized, and they are oversized, but not in a bad way. So they're super comfy, super casual anyway, and obviously they have this elasticated and drawstring waist. And because they have that sort of paper bag gathered in style, even though they are a bit oversized, you can bring it all in, and yeah, they look okay. I think I possibly could have sized down actually, because they are quite big and roomy around the legs, but I'm happy with these as they are actually. I wanted them to be comfy and cozy and casual. I didn't want them to be too restrictive, so yeah, I'm quite happy with how these have turned out. So yeah, a lovely pattern, a super quick sew. I think I sewed these together in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Actually, threading the elastic through this channel took me almost as long as making up the whole shorts. I don't know what was going on with myself when I was doing that, but I really had trouble getting my elastic to fit. I think it's because I was using quite a wide elastic, and it really was pretty much the size of my channel, so it kept sort of bunching up and twisting a little bit. I didn't have anything thinner or anything else that would work really, so I was determined to get this elastic in. I got there in the end, but oh my, it did take quite a while. So the lovely thing about the Peppermint spring shorts is that they have this really nice sort of curved hemline. So they go up slightly at the sides of your legs. And then the hem of the shorts is actually finished with a hemband or a facing. So it gives a really nice finish as well. And they have these really nice side pockets as well. So yeah, a lovely, lovely free pattern. I'm so glad that I finally got around to making those. And I think they work really nicely in this viscose linen. They drape really well, they hang really nicely. And even though I've definitely made these at the very end of summer, I think they will see me through into early autumn, because I would really like to wear these as a pair of lounge shorts. I do wear shorts quite a lot around the house, and also sort of as pajamas and things like that, or loungewear. So I think they'll work really nicely, even though we are going into the colder months. And I know that I'm going to be using this pattern a lot when we come into next year. Now that I've found this pattern, I think it will work really well for me going into the warmer months, and definitely if we go on another hot holiday, because I did actually end up buying a couple of pairs of shorts similar to this, just because I didn't have time to make them in the end, which I'm quite annoyed about now because these are actually perfect. But there we go, we don't always have time to do everything, do we? So yeah, if you are looking for a lovely casual pair of shorts, I highly recommend that lovely free pattern. So the next thing, or next pattern that I wanted to make come spring summertime this year was a lightweight jacket. So I've not really made many jackets. I've made a coat and I've made the Jack Trench, which is kind of in between a coat and a jacket, I guess. And the Logan jacket, I guess you could say that's a kind of jacket. But when it came to sort of an actual jacket, I hadn't really ever made one. So I really wanted to add one to my list for this year. And I chose to make the Ilford Jacket by Friday Pattern Company, which is this pattern here. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is one of Friday Pattern Company's older patterns. I think it's been around for quite a while. It's definitely one that I've seen everywhere. I've seen so many different lovely versions of it. So this is a unisex pattern actually. It can be made for a man or a woman, based on body measurements. It's that sort of unisex style. It's quite a boxy style jacket. You can make it waist length, so quite cropped, or you can make it as a longer duster style jacket. Again, I'll put in the pattern images so that you can see more clearly. What I really liked about this jacket is that I quite like utility type style. I quite like boxy designs. I'm quite casual really in my day-to-day dressing, and I thought this jacket would work really well for my everyday wardrobe. And I really like it as well if you are wearing a dress or something day to day, say like a day dress or whatever. If you want to sort of dress it down, I think if you put a casual jacket over it and wear a pair of trainers, say, I just think that gives a really nice sort of casual style. So yeah, I went for the Ilford jacket thinking that it would work well in my current wardrobe for its casual style. But what I really like about it is that there are so many different options to it. So the jacket itself is collared. The collar isn't on a stand, so it's quite a flat, sort of relaxed style collar. You can make it with button-up sleeve plackets, or you can have it just with a long straight sleeve. And there are loads of different pocket styles included in the pattern as well. So you can have your standard sort of square patch pockets. You can make hand warmer pockets. You can have button flat pockets. You can even have a little pencil pocket as well if you want to. And the button placket is really easy to do. It's just to sort of turn under and press and top stitch type button placket. So I think this is a really good jacket pattern for beginners actually. If you make the most basic version, it really is a good introduction to jacket making. The collar is the most difficult bit probably, but even that is one of the more easier style collars to fit in and sew. I have shown this before, so forgive me if I'm sort of repeating myself a little bit, but I will just show you again because I absolutely love it. I think this was one of those makes where when I had first finished it, I wasn't quite sure about it. I mentioned before that I put in these hand warmer pockets at the side here. Originally, I had also included 2 patch pockets on the breast as well, and it just didn't look right at all. It looked way too much, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this actually, but just removing those pockets and making it that bit simpler, or a bit more simple, just works so much better. And now I just really do love this jacket. I've tried it on with a few different things, and I'll pop in some photos of how I'm planning to wear it and style it for the winter time as well. Yeah, I think it really will actually work well in my wardrobe for the change in seasons. It's not massively warm. I haven't lined it or anything. This is just made from a cotton twill fabric from Mind the Maker. It's a lovely sturdy cotton twill, but it's not going to be that warm for, you know, come winter time. I would really love actually to try lining this. Just trying to open the buttons. I would really actually like to try lining this. I'm sure there must be a tutorial or something out there where someone has lined it, or even maybe Friday Pattern Company have already done it. I'm going to have a look at that, because I think if I made a similar jacket to this and lined it with like a Sherpa fleece or something, that would be so lovely and cozy for the winter time. So as you can see, I've gone for the most basic style jacket, and I've gone for the more cropped version. I've also done the plain sleeves, which I've just turned up like that because that's how I'm planning to wear them. And I've just finished it with some lovely wooden buttons. So yeah, thrilled with that make. Again, I think I've chosen the right pattern there when it comes to what I wanted, which was a lightweight jacket that I could just throw over things. It will go with most things. It will go with jeans, it will go with leggings, it will go with trainers, it will go with boots, it will go with dresses. I think it really will be a good one. So I have some denim in my fabric stash that I really want to use to make up another version of this jacket, but I want to make a longer version. I've seen loads of longer style denim jackets around on the high street, and if I can work out how to line it, then I really would love to try and do that, just so that it's that little bit warmer going into the autumn winter months. So yeah, that's my plans for that one. Another pattern that I'm actually really thrilled with. I'm so glad that I went for the Ilford jacket. It was a really lovely sew, very quick and easy to sew up actually. I think I sewed it in around 3 hours. It's very, it comes together really nicely, and because you're using a nice stable fabric, it really is a lovely sew. You can get into all the top stitching and everything and really have fun with it. So yeah, delighted with my Ilford jacket as well. So the next pattern or garment or item that I wanted to sew up for spring and summertime was a pair of summer pajamas. So I've made a few different pairs of pajamas. I've made the Carolyn pajamas by Closet Core. I've also made the Fifi pajamas by Tilly and the Buttons, which I really need to revisit because that's such a lovely, pretty pattern. My version didn't go too well when I made it. I had made it from a viscose which I hadn't pre-washed, and as soon as I washed it, it shrunk. So I had to get rid of those. So that was my lesson learned. But I've never gone back to that pattern, and I really would like to go back and try it. Anyway, I thought I would really like to add another pyjama pattern to my pattern library, and I decided to go for the Reef Pajamas or Reef Loungewear Set by Megan Nielsen. I really love the simplicity of this design. Such a lovely sort of simple style pair of pajamas or pair of loungewear. Pair of loungewear, is that how you say it? It's a pair of shorts, elasticated waist shorts. You can either have them as a straight leg or similar to the Peppermint shorts actually. You can have them with a nice sort of curved high-low leg. I went this time for the straight leg shorts, but I would really like to try these curved leg shorts as well. I think they're really pretty. And then there's just one version of the camisole, which is a V-neck. It has quite wide straps and it has a really pretty high-low hem and a very interesting yoke detail at the back, which crosses over. So yeah, I've been eyeing up this pattern for quite some time, and I knew I really wanted to add it to my list. When it came to fabric choice for this one, I had so many different fabrics on my list that I could have used to make these pajamas up. I think they would look amazing in like a tencel viscose or something like that, something really nice and drapey, or even like a proper linen. I think they've used linen for the pattern image actually, and it looks really nice. In the end, I got completely suckered into one of Sew Me Sunshine's Fabric Friday emails, and they had this lovely cotton seersucker fabric in stock, which had a really pretty ditzy floral print all over it. And I thought that would work perfectly for these pyjamas, so I snapped some of that up and made my set from that. What to say about this pattern other than it is just absolutely lovely. I really enjoyed sewing this up. I think, again, this would be a really lovely pattern for beginners. It's quite a simple sew, especially if you go for the straight-legged shorts, because I think the curved hem leg does actually have 2 panels, so I think you put the bottom on separately. So that makes that version slightly more difficult, but the straight leg shorts are really simple, really quick and easy to put together. Lovely elasticated waist, so they're really easy to fit. Probably should show you them while I'm talking. I did have some trouble fitting these actually. I wasn't quite sure which size to go for. I think I actually sized up a little bit for these, whereas I didn't actually need to. I ended up bringing the waist in quite a lot, but I think that's okay. I think when making pyjamas, I would always rather have oversized than anything that feels too fitted or too tight, because obviously you want to be able to move and you want to be able to be comfortable in bed. And then with the top is a really lovely simple sew. The hardest thing I found about this actually was cutting out the pieces. I don't know why, but I did have some trouble cutting these out. They're cut in one piece on the bias, so your pattern pieces are actually really quite big, and I remember just faffing around for ages trying to get it in the right place and trying to get it sort of neatly cut out on the bias. And then you have this really pretty yoke detail at the back which kind of crosses over, and it was lovely to sew. I think for quite a simple set, that yoke just gives it a little bit of extra interest, a little bit of extra detail, and it's really fun to sew. Everything is finished in the camisole with a facing. So you have this really funny looking facing here, which kind of encloses all the raw edges of the V-neck line. And then at the bottom of this crossover yoke, you then just have kind of straight facing that goes around the bottom of that yoke. I think they would make a lovely loungewear set as well. I think for me, if I was going to be wearing them as loungewear, I would have to lengthen the shorts because the shorts really are quite short. But yeah, they are really easy to lengthen. I think the cami top you could definitely wear as an outerwear top. You could make it in a different fabric and you could just wear it with like a denim pair of shorts or something like that, and it would be a really nice camisole pattern to have. I also think it would look lovely actually as a layering piece. So if you made this up in like a really soft sort of viscose dobby or something similar to what I made my Ogden camis with last year, it would look absolutely lovely layered under a cardigan or a shirt or something. You could absolutely wear this as outerwear, I think. One thing I do really need to be better at with these, and indeed with all of the pyjamas that I've sewn, is to actually wear them. So the idea really of me making these pyjamas was because I am very bad at just wearing my scraggy old jersey pyjamas because they're so comfy, and I really wanted to make some quite nice, you know, pretty summer pyjamas, but I'm still quite bad at actually wearing them. I don't know what it is. I just feel as though they're too pretty to wear in bed sometimes, which is absolutely silly. Let me know if you feel the same. Maybe you know what I mean, but yeah, I do need to be better at wearing these and wearing my Carolyn pyjamas. Maybe I actually need to throw all my older pyjamas out and then maybe I would actually wear my nicer ones. Let me know if you're the same. And of course, I couldn't make one of these new pattern lists without including a new dress to sew. So the dress that I went for this time was the Sew Over It Pippa Dress. So you'll know if you follow me that I am a fan of a gathered sort of tiered style dress. So I really wanted to look at a different kind of style dress this time. And I'd loved the sort of straighter style midi dresses that were around on the high street this spring and summer. I think the style has definitely been changing this year. So instead of the sort of floaty gathered tiered dresses that had been around everywhere, there were a lot more straighter styles. So the Pippa Dress by Sew Over It is a really lovely dress. There are lots of different length versions that you can make, but the kind of striking feature of it is that it has this asymmetrical button line to it, which is actually a fake button line. The dress itself actually fastens with an invisible zip at the side, so you're not putting those buttons and buttonholes in at all. And you can actually leave the buttons off if you prefer and just have quite a straight sort of plain style dress. So you can make this mini, midi or maxi length, and you can have it short sleeve, midi sleeve or full length sleeve, which is like a balloon sleeve, so you've got the nice gathered elasticated cuff. So yeah, I decided I wanted to make the Pippa dress. For some reason it took me absolutely ages to get around to making this dress. I just couldn't get on with it for some reason. I don't know why. I think actually it was the invisible zip and also the fact that I had trouble deciding what fabric to use as well. It took me ages to think about the kind of fabric that I wanted to use. But yeah, invisible zips are my like nemesis. They're the thing that I hate to do in sewing. I absolutely hate them. I know some people hate buttons and buttonholes. For me, I'm absolutely fine doing those. I don't mind them at all. But when it comes to invisible zips, or in fact any zip, I just really don't like it. I don't know why. Anyway, I bought myself an invisible zipper foot to make the job easier, and I brought my zip ages and ages ago, but it still took me ages to get on with it. Anyway, I ended up getting this really lovely fabric from Minerva for my most recent ambassador post for them. And I thought it would suit the Pippa dress perfectly. And again, I'm just absolutely thrilled with how this turned out. I did have trouble again trying to find the size that I wanted to cut. I'm kind of in between Sew Over It sizes. I'm around a size 8, I think, which is their second size. I think for this pattern, their sizes range from a size 6 to a size 30. I think I'm a size 8, so I'm a bust 32, I'm a waist around a 27 or something, and then hips 36. So often my waist is a little bit bigger than the standard size 8 waist. So yeah, I did need to cut a bust size 8, grade out to a 10 at the waist, and then grade back in again at the hips. So it did take a little bit of sort of grading and adjusting to cut out. You do need a lot of fabric for this dress, even though it doesn't look like you do, because the pieces are cut as if you're cutting a circle skirt. So they do kind of flare out quite a bit all over the floor. So I had everything out on the floor, my cutting boards and everything, because my table just wasn't big or wide enough to sort of accommodate the amount of fabric that was involved. I did change the length on this as well, because the midi length that's included in the pattern was too short for what I wanted it for, but the maxi length was actually absolutely huge. So in the end, I just ended up adding on to the midi length and making it around ankle length for me, I think, or just above. And yeah, I'm just so pleased with this dress. I love it so much, and I wish I had made it earlier in the summer, because I would love to make another one, but I think now it's getting a little bit late in the year. I'm not sure I would wear this style going into autumn and winter time. I know there is the long sleeve version, and I could make that as a nice sort of midi dress. I don't know if that's sort of appealing to me for wintertime or not. I quite like this style as it is for summertime. I think definitely next year I will be making more Pippa dresses, because just such a lovely sew. The cutting out definitely took way longer than the putting together did. It did come together quite nice and quickly. Obviously this bit here is a faux wrap, and then you're just kind of attaching the skirt. The invisible zip is quite funny actually. It's a 22-inch invisible zip. It's super long. Let me show you where it comes to. So I think it goes from underarm right down to here, and I'm going to have to go back and check the pattern, but I don't think there's a different length if you're making the shorter version. So that zip is absolutely huge. I think if I make this again, I'm definitely going to shorten that zip a little bit, or get a shorter zip and insert it. I mean, not actually shorten the zip. I think as long as the zip kind of goes past your hips, I think you're probably all right to get it on and off. You can't get it over your head because it is quite fitted around the waist. Yeah, such a lovely sew, and I'm really pleased to have a different style dress in my wardrobe. I have loads of shirt dresses, loads of gathered style dresses. This for me is a little bit different. I think if you weren't me, you absolutely could make this for autumn winter time. You could make the shorter version and wear it with a lovely pair of black tights and boots, or you could make the midi dress version with the longer sleeves, and it would really work well in autumn time. You never know, I might come back to it and think about it for autumn winter time. I'll have to see, but yeah, I'm thrilled to have that dress in my wardrobe, and this fabric is just an absolute beauty. I love it so much. So that was my new dress added to my wardrobe, my pattern collection for this summertime. And so that brings me to the final of my 5 new patterns, which was the Marnie blouse by Tilly and the Buttons, which is what I'm wearing today. And this is absolutely hot off of the sewing machine. I literally just finished it last night. But I really wanted to get this finished before the end of summer, because I'd made that list, but also because I do think this will be a good one for the changing of seasons. Obviously, my original plan was to have it for spring, summer, but I think I'm going to have it now for summer, autumn, or autumn, winter. And I think it will work well. It's still going into the colder months. So the Marnie blouse by Tilly and the Buttons, or the Marnie blouse and dress, I should say, by Tilly and the Buttons, is a lovely smock style dress. It has a really interesting design to it. I'll put in the line drawing so that you can see. There are a lot of different variations that you can do or you can make with this blouse. So you can have it as a round collared blouse. It's made in separate panels. So you've got like a yoke here at the front, and then it kind of billows out into a gathered top or dress, and the sides are actually panelled, so you've got 2 separate panels here. You can make the tucks like I've got in my blouse, or you can leave it plain, and there is a shoulder frill that you can include if you want to, and there's also a neck frill as well. So really you can have it as frilly or as flouncy as you like, and you can make it either as a blouse or as a dress. So as I mentioned, this wasn't a pattern that had immediately caught my eye, just because I didn't know if it would suit me. Because I'm quite small, I didn't know if it would really swamp me with all of those frills and gathers and things. But as is often the way, I'd seen so many lovely versions around that I really wanted to make up my own. So I decided to go for one of the more simple versions and just have the round neck. I loved the look of the pin tuck, so I really wanted to include them, and I've gone for obviously the long sleeves. The pattern does only show a long sleeve, but I guess if you wanted to, you could definitely make this either sleeveless or have a short sleeve. I had debated actually including a thin shoulder frill here and just have it much thinner than the pattern piece. In the end, I decided to leave it off because I wanted to see what the blouse was like without it first, because the sleeves are actually gathered as well, as you can see here, and everything is quite sort of billowy and flowy, so I just wanted to see how I felt in it first. And I'm absolutely, well, I've definitely made the right decision there, I think. I think shoulder frills would have been a little bit too much for me. Again, this took me quite a while to get around to making. I was searching and searching for the perfect fabric. In my head, I wanted a Dobby viscose similar to the Atelier Brunette Dobby viscose that I've used so often in the past. That is quite expensive, and because I wasn't exactly sure how I would feel in this blouse, I decided not to go for that in the end, and I couldn't quite find the right colour that I wanted either, and in the end I settled on this lovely, again Minerva exclusive viscose in this shade called Putty, which I absolutely love. It's such a beautiful colour, and this viscose, I've used it before actually. I used it for my Nick's dress as well. It's so lovely and soft and so drapey, and it's so reasonably priced. It was perfect really for what I wanted. I just wanted to see if this blouse would work for me, and yeah, as it turns out, I think this is probably the perfect fabric for it. Anyway, so yeah, I decided to go for the most simple version that I could with the Marnie, just to see how I felt in it, but I really wanted to do the pin tuck, so I've gone for pin tucks, no shoulder frill, long sleeves, pin tucks again on the sleeves, and then the lovely big billowy sleeves with the elasticated bottom. And I think this is one of those blouses where even if I didn't like it at the end, I would have been happy just to sort of hang it up and stare at it because the pin tucks on it are just so pretty and so lovely to do and so satisfying. I just really got into the process and I enjoyed all of it, and I loved the end result. I feel like I've learned a new sewing skill doing these pin tucks. They weren't half as scary as I thought they were going to be, and they just are so effective and they look so pretty, even if, yeah, as I say, even if I didn't love the garment in the end, which I actually do, I would have just been happy to sit and stare at it all day. But yeah, I'm happy to say that I am actually really pleased with how this Marnie has turned out. I think in this plain fabric, in the colour that it's in, it kind of suits me and suits my style really well. So yeah, I'm so pleased with this. I'm definitely, well, I'm already planning my next one. I've already got a fabric lined up to make another one of these, because I think it's going to be a great one for going into autumn and winter. I've got mine tucked in today. Stand up and show you. With a pair of wide leg jeans. I've actually cut this shorter so that I can wear it quite cropped over jeans. So if I have it out, it is quite cropped. But I wanted to be able to tuck it in as well, because I think I will mainly wear it tucked in. I think that's how it suits me and suits my shape and style better. So yeah, if you're thinking about making the Marnie blouse, but you're a little bit scared like me, I would say definitely give it a go, for nothing else other than the really satisfying pin tucks. They are just so lovely to make, and I can't wait to try them again. I think it would look lovely as a plain black dress as well for winter time, a lovely plain black mini dress, I think, with a pair of tights and boots would look really nice as well. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my little roundup of my 5 new patterns that I wanted to sew for spring and summer this year. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and that you've enjoyed coming along and revisiting all of my makes with me. I'm so glad that I got all 5 made in the end, even though it did take me a little while. So for this year and this upcoming season, I am going to be thinking again about some more patterns that I want to add to my autumn winter wardrobe. But I'm actually going to be thinking about it a little bit differently this year and going a bit more down the sort of capsule wardrobe route. So I'm really going to be thinking about things that I want to add that are going to go really well with my lifestyle and with what I already have, and that will hopefully fit in with the clothes that I have colour-wise and things like that as well. So yeah, I really hope that if you're not already subscribed to my channel, that you will subscribe so that you don't miss that upcoming video. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.